Anyone who knows a little, just a little about the history of megalodons will know that there's never been a creature so terrifying that can be compared to these beasts of the oceans. However, there are some creatures that could be serious rivals. These are mythical and chilling monsters, all ready to fight to steal the title held by the Megalodon. And if you're willing to meet them, today you'll discover 5 creatures that you'll never be able to get out of your head. Let's get started. Number 5. When it comes to creepy monsters that inhabited the seas, we can't fail to mention one of the most destructive and documented creatures of the past. Homer wrote about her. She was considered to be the daughter of Poseidon and Gaia, and her fury was so powerful that nothing could resist her. In fact, men prayed to their gods to intercede for them so they could get rid of her terrible attacks. But it wasn't always effective, and the poor sailors were devoured in the depths of the sea. Of course, we're talking about Charybdis, the horrible sea monster that's so well portrayed in the Odyssey. She's usually referred to as a female beast that took the forms of typhoons, tornadoes, and whirlpools. Her appetite was insatiable, and she came to be regarded as one of the greatest dangers to sailors, merchant ships, and large vessels for centuries. Only some victims managed to escape its stormy force, and although many came to consider it a harmless beast, few dared to verify such words. Such was its cultural impact on ancient societies that the expression between Cilla and Charybdis has survived to this day and is used to describe a position in which moving away from one mortal danger means going toward another one. You already know one of these 2 mortal dangers, so now you only have to discover the other one. Although if Charybdis seems like a destructive creature to you, you have no idea what follows next. Number 4. The next creature has a tragic origin. According to Greek mythology, this creature originally was a beautiful nymph born of the union between a mortal named Phorbante and Hecate, the goddess of crossroads. Her name was Cilla, and she denied love to a sea god who, in turn, was deceived by a sorceress who longed for his affection. The result led to a potion that was poured on Cilla, which transformed her into a powerful and tormented sea monster. Mythology describes it as a beast with the torso of a woman and the tail of a fish, accompanied by 6 dogs that come out of her waist, each with 2 legs. Other versions point to it as a creature with 6 long serpentine necks and grotesque heads that torture each other. Regardless of her description, Cilla became the terror of the seas. No ship that crossed her waters was able to evade her. Some didn't even manage to fully see her. They simply crashed against her colossal and monstrous body. Others, however, managed to look at her, although it was the last thing they did because Cilla destroyed them with horrifying sadism. Only the figure of Odysseus managed to successfully evade it once, as did a small number of ancient sailors. Nevertheless, this beast of the sea was merciless and is believed that it still prowls the oceans, destroying any living creature that crosses its path. However, when it comes to monsters that plague the world's seas, the Greeks had a very apt creature to define them. It was a mysterious beast that could paralyze the heart of even the world's most seasoned sailors. Number 3. If you've ever wondered where killer whales are born from, you may find the answer to that question today. The next creature on the list was considered to be a monster of colossal proportions that punished sailors by drowning them in the depths of the sea. It was named Cetus and was made by the hands of Poseidon to punish Cassiopeia, an ancient queen who boasted about the beauty of her daughter Andromeda. Poseidon used the marine bodies of numerous animals to create an abominable beast that was sent as a divine punishment. To calm the attacks, the queen offered to sacrifice her daughter Andromeda, so she chained her to a rock. But upon learning of her plight, Perseus came to her rescue, slaying Cetus and ridding the world of its calamity. However, this feat only contributed to the birth of numerous sea monsters such as primitive cetaceans and countless other beasts that have since then caused endless catastrophes throughout the ocean. Their forms are varied, and all of them are considered to be the children of Cetus, although none are as monstrous as the latter. Generally, Cetus was described as a gigantic sea serpent with the head of a boar and the body of a whale. Its tail was fan-shaped and its skull was 12 meters long. No doubt this is a creature that few can compare to, but that's no problem for the next beast of the ocean. The following are supernatural beings that have tormented the English seas for generations. Number 2. The sea is teeming with secrets and shadowy creatures. However, those recorded in English folklore seem to far outnumber most aquatic beasts. Their tales are ancient, dating back to medieval times, but the legends have lived for centuries. They are described as supernatural animals, unexplained mutations, and a mishmash of mindless creatures that insistently attack humans and ships. Their abode is the seas, lakes, and swamps, although they aren't afraid to explore the oceans, as they're creatures that live for chaos and destruction. Their name is none other than Grindelow, and they have been depicted in numerous fantasy books throughout history. However, there's nothing fantastic or adorable about their appearance. They're usually described as tiny humanoids with green scaly skin, monstrous teeth, and long arms full of skeletal fingers covered with metal claws. Curiously, despite their small form, they possess bestial strength, and their preferred way to kill is by dragging humans to the bottom of the ocean. Only there do they drown them and tear them to pieces until they become food. Not much is known about these creatures, but their fame has transcended over time to become part of popular culture. Unfortunately, this isn't what's happened with the next creature on the list. In fact, you've probably never even heard of it once, but now that the opportunity has come, you'll never forget it. Number 1. Muslim countries are full of extraordinary stories that rarely penetrate the West. However, when it comes to sea monsters, it's impossible not to talk about these beasts. In this part of the world, prophecies are important, but none have been as controversial as the one swallowed by Num, a monstrous creature the size of an island that is believed to still swim freely through the oceans, hiding from prying eyes and engulfing everything in its path. The most accurate descriptions of this beast categorize it as a whale of colossal proportions that could eat an entire ship for lunch and still have an appetite. In Muslim culture, it's used to exemplify evil and corruption, in addition to the chaos that shakes society and its faith. However, few records and accounts of this creature exist. Most have been lost over time, as has the prophecy devoured by this creature, although many still consider it the true terror of the sea and the one responsible for the many calamities that plague the ocean. However, choosing which of these monsters can surpass the Megalodon is an extremely complex job. Each creature has its own capabilities to annihilate and destroy. Facing them is a real challenge in which, surely, you'd never want to be involved. Even so, if you still want to keep expanding your knowledge about the monsters that inhabit the sea, you should follow us in the following videos to discover the dark secrets that are hidden there in the depths, where no one can see the dangers of the ocean.